Good afternoon, and thanks for joining. My name is Terrence Dixon, and I serve here as the Associate Vice President for Enrollment Management at the college. And so we're so happy that you've joined us today to talk about the new student enrollment 2017 house call. Congratulations to all of you parents and students out there that have been admitted for the fall 2017 class, but most importantly, the graduating class of 2021. Today, we want to make sure we talk very explicitly about the things that you will need to do in preparation for arrival for the fall class and for the new student orientation process to happen in August. You will hear later at the end of this presentation from a panel of experts from the areas of student financial services, athletics, program degree advisement, the Director of Admissions, Student Health Services, Residential Education, and the Office of Financial Aid. Throughout this web stream, you are welcome to use the chat function on your device where it says, ask your question. While I'm presenting and you hear me say something that causes you to have a question, please feel free to start that questioning process so that when our panel comes, we'll have your questions available for them and ready for them to answer. So let's get started. We must first begin this process by reminding everyone that there is a non-refundable acceptance fee, single payment of $588, which must be paid in full to confirm your seat for the fall class and to begin your enrollment process for the fall 2017 semester. So I'm going to say that again. We need to make sure that all students pay the one-time single payment of $588, your non-refundable acceptance fee, to confirm your seat in the fall class for fall 2017. We will have a few new student enrollment sessions this cycle during the summer. These are non-residential orientation sessions or enrollment sessions that will be held on May 31st and June 1st, along with June 26th and through June 27th. There will be an online registration form available around April 1 for you to go out to fill those out to select one of those sessions and the times that you would arrive. Remembering that your 588 is the indicator for that, so we need to make sure that all of those things are done first prior to coming into the campus for the enrollment sessions. Again, this is a non-residential session designed for you to come to the campus, start your process that day, and by end of day ready to leave to go back fully enrolled to return in August for your new student orientation. Make sure when you come to these sessions, you're welcome to bring your own electronic devices, your laptops, your smartphones, your iPads, to help you in this process throughout the day on those days of enrollment sessions. So let's get started with course selection and advisement for new students. How do I get my classes? Each student will receive a communication detailing the enrollment process, but in order to receive your fall schedule, you must make sure you've taken your mandatory placement examinations and completed the course scheduling advisement form. There will be two placement examinations that will be required that you take prior to coming to campus. They will be the Modern Foreign Language Placement Examination and a Mathematics Placement Examination. The Modern Foreign Language Placement Examination, like the math, for both of them you will receive a link when you've made your 588 single payment of 588 to get that link to engage that process. Students, we are really encouraging you. I know sometimes on online examinations you might be encouraged to think about asking for a little help in these. We're asking you to refrain from this. This is just for placement. So we want to make sure that you're taking the full placement exams for foreign language because this exam will place you in a foreign language course. And if the foreign language course places you in a course where the language is being spoken very fluently in teaching and receiving in the classroom, you might not be in the right space. However, make sure that you take the examination. All students that take the examination will receive a placement, and you will need that during your advisement period when you come to campus. For math placement, same rule applies. Each entering student for the fall class will receive placements for mathematics by using our ALEX system, the Assessment and Learning in Knowledge Spaces. It's an online testing system. You will receive specific instructions on how to access ALEX online, and you will take the placement exam in May once the portal opens. Your placement will be determined based on your scoring on this examination. Course scheduling. Students, course scheduling will happen only after you have, number one, completed your mandatory placement examinations in foreign language and mathematics. You will have to make sure you've completed the course scheduling advisement form. And for our athletes, it's a little bit different for our athletes. Our athletes will also have to submit a registration form, a registration audit form to Mr. Kevin Chapman upon your arrival to campus during your enrollment session. For athletes only, there will be an additional form called your course registration audit form that will need to be given to Mr. Kevin Chapman for your completion of your scheduling session. Advisement and course registration will occur while you are on the campus during those sessions. If you have any questions about that, please make sure you send your emails and refer them directly to the email address listed below. Test scores. Please make sure that if you have taken AP, IB exam scores, that you make sure that you have those scores submitted to Morehouse at the completion of those exams. Those two can be used as a part of your credit bearing process as well as your placement process. For student athletes and all students, again, if you are a student athlete, however, and you are receiving athletic scholarship, you still must pay the one-time single payment of $588 for your acceptance fee. That will show up on your account, and you'll be able to use that later. It will be applied towards your total cost. However, you do need to pay that so you can start the enrollment process. We ask all students, including athletes, to make sure you've completed the FAFSA, making sure that you have completed your pre-participation form through the NC2A clearinghouse, which is your eligibility center clearinghouse form. There is a fee for that form. It's an $80 fee, I believe, for that form. You can receive a fee waiver for that form through your school guidance office or counseling center, only if you received a fee waiver for the SAT or the ACT, or if you're receiving free lunch. We require that all athletes submit their pre-participation physical forms and their pre-entrance health forms that you've already received back to the college or our Student Health Service Center. All students must complete both of those, but our athletes must, in addition to their pre-entrance health record forms, must submit the pre-participation physical examination forms. We're asking all athletes send the college 2 final transcripts, 2 of your final high school transcripts. One of those transcripts being sent to the college and sent to the Office of Recruitment and Admission, and the other being sent to the Office or the Department of Athletics. We'll need to make sure that those are on file in both places for this process to be complete, and that you can consider yourself enrolled for fall. We're asking all students, including athletes, to go to your TigerNet portal, the portal that you received as a result of your admission should be listed in your admission letter, to go to your admission portal, to accept all of your financial aid that's been offered to you at this point for the fall semester. Students that have been selected to attend the PSEP summer program. This program is a summer enrichment program by invitation only. You would have received that invitation along with your admission to the college, and we strongly advise that you consider attending this session through the summer. This session will allow you to orientate yourself and secure some additional skill set that we believe you may need for a successful start at Morehouse for the fall semester. The pre-freshman summer enrichment program begins on June 10 and runs through July 21st, 2017. There will be a cost for this program. The program cost is $3,500. That's $3,500, and the due date for that cost, or for the registration of that program, is May 29, 2017. Please keep in mind that this is an additional cost. This is not to be included or commingled with or considered to be a part of the 588 single payment of 588, which is your acceptance fee for the fall class, and there will be no financial aid available for this summer programming. Again, those students that have been invited to come to our PSEP program, remembering that the 588 acceptance fee payment is not included in your $3,500 payment for the summer, and there will be no financial aid available for that program. Let's go to housing and residential education. This is very important, students, that you make sure you pay attention to these important dates for housing. May 1, your Tiger Den portal will open for your housing registrations. You'll need to make sure that you go there after you've paid your 588. You're able to go in and start to register for your housing. June 1, we will continue the confirmation process and signing you up for housing, but the important date you need to remember is July 1. July 1, that portal will close. The housing portal will close on July 1. And after that, we will start the process of making sure that all students have made their final payments for the fall semester, which are due on August 1. So August 1 is the final payment for the fall semester. You must be paid in full on that date. August 2nd, there will be some cancellations of housings for those students that have not made the final payment for the fall semester. And then we'll be ready to receive all students that have cleared this process on August 8th to move into their residential units and their residential houses at that time. Please be sure to understand that, again, May 1, the portal opens. July 1, the portal closes. We're going to ask you that during this process that you periodically continue to check your Tiger Net and Tiger Den accounts. As you see your charges as you add those things like classes and housing assignments, you will see the charges amount there. So we want to make sure that you are in full compliance for the housing process. When you log into the housing portal, you will see a list of icons there for applications. We want to make sure that you are choosing the OHRL program or link or tab for your housing assignments, your housing applications. Please make sure that you enter that application to begin your housing process. If in fact you have any challenges with that, please refer to the email address below to our service desk, making sure that you have, if you're having any trouble with your M numbers, which becomes your Morehouse ID numbers, or any obstacles of you logging into that portal. You may also refer to your letter of admission. Please keep that handy as you're filling that out. You'll have your Morehouse ID number on that letter. And if you're having troubles after that, please make sure you contact our service desk. Once you enter that portal, you'll see a form asking you for your personal information and main contact and notification. This is very important information for us. We need to be clear that we've captured all emergency contact information on you. If something were to happen while you're on the campus, who should we contact? How should we contact them? And then once you do that, please make sure that you press and save that page for us to have that information on file. It's very, very important, students, that you take your time, and please check that for accuracy when you enter that information into the portal. Your next page will deal with your lifestyle preferences. Your lifestyle preferences. Now, students and parents, moms and dads, this section of the housing form is for the student only. We really want to make sure that your student is filling this portion of the application out correctly, so it allows us to understand how we best match him with a roommate. His time of getting up, the time he studies, the time he tends to go to bed, all of those things are very important. We capture that information on this lifestyle preference form. So students, once you've done that, make sure you press save and continue on that form so we capture that data. Take your time, be truthful about yourself, know thyself when you fill it out, because we'll be using that information to help match you with the roommate. The roommate option. When in this process and you have already met someone through one of our admitted student days or an open house, or there's someone in your hometown you know that you've been admitted with, and you both are coming to Morehouse and you like to be roommates your freshman year, we're going to ask that you both enter this process simultaneously, meaning that you pay your $588, your single payment of $588 at the same time, and that you get into this portal around the same time so that all of your information aligns and we can match you to your roommate. It's very, very important that you pair yourself with that person. You guys kind of work through this process simultaneously. You'll also find an option for Grad Guard Renters Insurance. Grad Guard Renters Insurance is an option to you, but it's one that we highly recommend, that we strongly recommend. This is a really important piece on the campus, and it could be something beneficial for the student. At a nominal fee, $124 for the year, with a limit of up to $5,000 of loss. There is a $100 deductible if you were to file a claim. However, this protects the things that may be in your room that you may lose on the campus, or those kind of things that sometimes come up missing. Books, devices, those types of things. We're asking you to do that because once those things become lost, those are not responsibilities of the college, and the college will not be held responsible for those lost or stolen items. So for a very small fee of $124 for the year, and it again has a limit of $5,000 for your loss, with a $100 deductible for the claim, you can then procure your Grad Guard Renters Insurance for the academic year. Once you've gotten to the end, please submit your application. Please remember to submit the application. Press the submit button. If you've done all this wonderful work and you don't submit, then we won't have any record of you doing the work and won't be able to help you in this housing process. So all students at this point, we recommend that you go back through the application itself, double check all of your information, making sure that it is as accurate as possible, and then press the submit button. Once you've done that, you will get a confirmation page to allow you to know that you will receive a confirmation on your completed housing application and that it has been electronically submitted to the college. Student health services. Student health services. In our Student Health Service Center, there are a number of services offered inside our health service center. Remember that you must be a student that has taken or will be taking at least 4 hours, semester hours with us, credit hours. These services are covered by fees, and there are no additional charges for those fees, but you do have to be registered for and enrolled in a minimum of 4 credit hours for that semester. Immunizations. Immunizations. Who likes immunizations, right? But we must have them. We must have your immunizations. This is a deal breaker for us in residential life and on our campus. All students, all Morehouse College students entering are required to have the following immunizations. We are recommending that you start those now, or if you haven't, to make sure that you note there is the last bullet there of your tuberculosis screening, that screening results cannot be any older than 1 year from the date that was done. All students must complete the immunization process. This will prevent you from being able to move into residential life, and it will prevent you from completing the enrollment process. The Student Health Center forms. Some of you have probably received some of those forms or links to those forms through your step-by-step guide from the Office of Admission. We're going to say those forms, if you've already started to send those in to us, those are fine. Please do so. But there will be a portal that will open that you see here on bullet 1 there around April 1 that will allow you to go in and be able to make sure that you are able to fill those forms out, which are pretty much the same types of forms that you've received in your booklets. Please make sure that you submit those forms to this portal for our Student Health Service Office to review those and have those on record for you as you prepare to complete your enrollment process. For those students that are seeking immunization exemption forms, this is only and only if these are medical exemption forms that a physician says that you cannot take these immunizations. You will use this link and link 2 in paragraph 2 to have that completed and submitted back to our health service office for receipt and evaluation. But again, that exemption form is only if you've never been able to take immunizations. These are medical reasons why you cannot have these immunizations. Student health insurance. Morehouse requires that all students present proof of health insurance that provides coverage for them in the state of Georgia. You must have health insurance that will cover you here in the state of Georgia. Students taking 4 hours or more will automatically be enrolled in the college's health insurance plan. However, students who have health insurance that provide them medical coverage in the state of Georgia will have the opportunity to opt out of the college health insurance plan. The dates for the opt-out period and the web address will be sent to the student's Morehouse email address prior to the start of each semester. Students who opt to receive the college health insurance benefit will see a fee and will be responsible for the fee and will receive insurance cards so that they can have those to present in a health center and for coverage while they're enrolled for the academic year. there is a process of waiver for health insurance. Remember, the important point is that you must have health insurance that will cover you while you're enrolled at Morehouse in the state of Georgia. If you meet the waiver criteria, you can use this form, use the form to complete that information, resubmit and submit that form to the link below, and you will see that you'll need to use your Morehouse student ID to complete that form. You will receive an email of acknowledgement to know that you received your waiver within 10 business days. You should also note that there will be a fee that will show up on your student account. That fee, once your process waiver has been approved, will drop somewhere between 10 days or so from the last day of add drop period for that semester. So keep in mind, if you're looking for the health insurance waiver, you must complete the waiver process and submit that form for approval. There's typically a cost for that form, and that fee is $444.50. That fee will be there every semester as long as you're carrying the college's health insurance, but that is also the fee that will be waived if in fact you submit a successful waiver form. Our next section is financial aid. Applying for financial aid. We hope by now that you've already engaged this process. Financial aid is really going to be a portion of how many of our students afford the matriculation process here at Morehouse. So by doing that, we hope by now you've all gone to the FAFSA website, www.fasfa.gov. You will apply for your PIN there and make sure that when you've done your FAFSA that you've selected Morehouse College as the place to receive your student aid report. You will receive an email from the Department of Education once that FAFSA process is completed. But while in the FAFSA process, parents and students, remember that we're using for this academic year, the 2017-2018 year, you're using your 2015 tax returns. That being said, we want you to use the Internal Revenue Service data retrieval tool that's embedded in the FAFSA. Please make sure you use that tool. Here is why we recommend that very strongly. If in fact you are freehanding the data inside the FAFSA with those numbers and they don't exactly match those numbers that you placed in your 2015 tax return, this could cause a little bit of a delay in processing your financial aid. They're causing you to be selected for verification by the Department of Education, which is a little longer process to get through. So we're asking you to please remember to use the Internal Revenue Data Retrieval tool embedded inside the FAFSA, and make sure that once you've done that, you check your email once you've submitted your FAFSA. You will receive by email from the Department of Education your student aid report, all of the missing information that they may say that you may have, that they need from you, and it will also tell you if you have been selected for verification. Meaning, if you have been selected for verification, the Department of Education will also tell you the forms that they need for you to submit for us to verify your aid for the academic year. What happens after I file the FAFSA? What happens? So, if you were selected for verification, please complete the verification if selected, and respond to any of the questions from the financial aid office as promptly as possible. You receive financial aid notifications from the Office of Financial Aid. Reply to your offers of aid and admission as quickly as possible, meaning that once you have been admitted to the college and you know that you're coming for the fall, make sure you pay your one-time single payment of $588, go into your TigerNet portal, and then accept all offered financial aid in your aid package. You must complete promissory notes if you're borrowing money, if there are any loans in that loan package that you are accepting. You must complete those promissory notes and make sure that those are submitted to the Department of Education. And notify the campus of any outside scholarship funding that you may be receiving. If you are receiving outside scholarship funding, please make sure that with that, there is a note from that donor or from that scholarship agency to alert us how those funds are to be used, and to make sure that they reference your name and your Morehouse ID number on that payment. It's important that we do that to make sure that we accurately track those funds to your account. Please be certain that when you're completing the FAFSA process, that you make sure that you complete these things. The verification process. You respond to any questions pretty promptly from our Office of Financial Aid. Make sure that you have copies of all your tax returns and transcripts for any validation that may be needed, and that you submit all forms timely. Go into your TigerNet portal and make sure that you are accepting all offered aid up to include completing any promissory notes for any monies that you may be borrowing for the academic year, and to notify the campus, specifically the Office of Financial Aid, if in fact you are receiving outside scholarship funding. In that packet, we should also know how those funds ought to be used, and that will be dictated by the donor or the scholarship funder, making sure that they identify those funds with your name and your Morehouse ID number. If you are selected for verification, what is verification? The verification process requires students to provide supplemental documentation to verify the accuracy of the information, which is provided on the FAFSA. Remember, this is not a Morehouse process. Remember, if you're selected for verification, you will receive an email from the Department of Education alerting you of which documents that you will need to use and to upload into the next link here. If you are chosen for verification, please submit the links, so the documents that they have requested that you submit, to the link below, morehouse.verifymyfafsa.com/account/login. It's very important that you do that in a very timely manner, so that information gets back to our financial aid office so that we can assist the rest of your aid packaging process. If in fact you have a sibling that is in college at another college, you will have a sibling verification form that you'll need to complete. You can and will be packaged without us having sibling verification forms. However, it is extremely important. This is the very, very important part that you need to understand about the sibling verification form. If we do not have your sibling verification form on file by September 1, all of the funding that you've accepted in your aid package will not disperse into your Morehouse account. So that aid funding will not disperse to pay for your education that semester until we have that sibling verification form on file. And we must have that submitted to us by September 1. So what you need to do if you are not packaged for financial aid for 2017-2018. If you've not received a missing information letter, log into your TigerNet account. Once you log into your TigerNet account using the same information that you got from the Office of Admission, you'll click on your Finance tab. And then you will click on your financial aid link. There will be a drop down for your eligibility, and you'll see student requirements. Please select the aid year 2017-2018 and then press submit, and submit all documents that are needed for that process. Once all documents have been received by our aid office, your file will be processed within 5 business days. please make sure that if you have not been packaged, that you follow the above instructions. Once you have submitted all the required documentation, your file will be processed in the Office of Aid within 5 business days. So what do I do if you're already packaged for the financial aid 2017-2018? So parents, if in fact inside your financial aid award package there is a loan called the PLUS loan or direct loan, that is a parent loan, not a student loan. Only parents can apply for the Parent Plus loan. So that link to apply for the Parent Plus loan will be www.studentloans.gov. The parent will go to that link, select the Parent Plus process, complete that application. You will receive information directly back from the Department of Education about your eligibility for that loan. Students, however, if in fact inside your Morehouse financial aid package or award, you will see loans for students called the Stafford Subsidized and the Stafford Unsubsidized. You will need to go to the same website, www.studentloans.gov, and complete your promissory notes and complete your entrance loan counseling so that you can have receipt of those loans and they can be dispersed onto your student account. Students, if you also see work study inside of your financial aid award, you will receive your contract once the semester begins, along with information on when to report to workshops for new student employees. Student financial services, student accounts, and the cashiering office. This area of the college works very collaboratively with the Department of Financial Aid. We're going to ask you to make sure that you've done all things in the aid office first so that you can have some accurate accounting on your student account, where our colleagues in the Office of Student Financial Services can assist you. The following things in that office are being handled there that you can see here on the screen. Once your aid has been processed and completed, you will have a few payment options. These are listed 1 through 7, I'm sorry, 1 through 7 here on this slide. Again, if in fact you are receiving monies from outside of the college by donor or outside scholarship, please make sure that they apply your name and your Morehouse student ID so that once it receives in financial aid and then onto the Office of Student Accounts, that those funds are placed on the proper account. We want to make sure that we get all of your funding in the right place for you so you'll have a successful entry for the fall semester and for the academic year. You'll see a link below to our payment options website so you can use any of those options above to make payment on your Morehouse student account. Student health insurance. We talked about that earlier in student health services. The student health insurance fee is $444.50 per semester. This fee will show up on your account unless you have submitted a successful waiver process that shows that you have insurance coverage that will cover you within the state of Georgia while you're matriculating. These charges, the insurance charge will be dropped approximately 15 business days from the add drop period for all who have submitted a successful opt-out waiver process. Payment schedule and guidelines. Parents and students, these are very, very important dates that we'd like to make sure that you stay focused on, particularly from the area of student financial services. All students are expected to pay the initial payment of $16,000 by June 1. By June 1. This $16,000, however, can be made up of a portion of financial aid, cash, credit card, certified check, loans, outside loans, scholarships, that can be applied for this initial payment of $16,000, which is due on June 1. Keep in mind, a final payment for tuition and fees for the balance of the semester will be due on August 1. Again, an initial payment of $16,000 for the semester is due on June 1, and the final payment is due on August 1 for the fall semester. Students should make sure they've completed all of the financial aid process so that you're able to receive all of your aid, which will be applicable for your payments of $16,000 toward that $16,000 initial payment. The third bullet references a verification link from earlier, and we want to make sure that you are able to make sure you go back to the payment section of in Student Financial Services to use any of those links to make payment. Again, the $16,000 can be made up of credit card payment, cash or check, certified check, the use of outside scholarship funds, and the like towards your account for your initial payment. The college offers a payment plan. Morehouse will offer a semester-based payment plan for tuition, fees, housing, and meals only. They only cover tuition, fees, housing, and meals. The fall payment plan will begin on July 1. You can start to sign up for it early, however, on May 1, May 1, 2017. And the fall payment plan period begins from July 1 through November 1. The plan will then reopen again for the spring, and the commencing of that program for spring will begin on December 1 and close on April 1. Please note, before you can enter the payment plan, you must have fully satisfied your initial payment of $16,000 for the fall semester, per semester. You must satisfy the $16,000 payment first before you can engage the payment plan option. That initial $16,000 must be paid before you can engage that process. There will be an application fee that you will see paid to the outside vendor of $55 per semester if you use the payment plan option. It is an application fee for the payment plan only. Please note that as you're looking at your TigerNet accounts while you're doing this, and if you were at any point changing schedules or housing or meal plans, you will see an adjustment in your running balance. So be clear that you are looking at your running balance as you make changes to to any of your plan, be it meals or housing or even coursework. If you're adding courses that may have labs that may have an additional fee, you may see an additional fee show up on your account. Please understand that you will be able to budget only $6,000 per semester per student. One student per household, per student. A total of $6,000 will be able to be placed into the payment plan per semester. So after you've met the $16,000 payment, initial payment, you may only place $6,000 in the payment plan option for that semester. Would you mute your lines, please? And if you have any questions at this point, it's a good time for you to just start kind of type some of those in. You can unmute now. Thank you. Your payment plan. How do I sign up for it? How do you sign up for a payment plan? You complete the following process for signing up for your payment plan. You can go to the link that you see there in bullet 2 to determine your options for payment. You'll currently go out, if you go to our schedule of fees on our current website, you will see the schedule of fees for the current academic year. We are working on the changes for that for the coming year. You should see those changes show up in that same spot within the next 30 to 60 days. So you can refer back to that what we call the schedule of fees for the academic year at that point. But please make sure that you follow the following directions on this slide to kind of point you in the direction of our payment plan website that allows you to enter the payment plan. Remembering that once you've entered the payment plan, a confirmation email will be sent to the Office of Student Financial Services, and the Student Financial Service team will then confirm your payment plan and apply any of those payments in that plan to your student account. All payments must be paid in accordance to the plan so you can stay current and stay in good standing for your payments to be arrived for your arrival for the fall semester. So, step 1 would be to go into the payment plan link. Step 2, you would go visit our quick link at Student Financial Services at morehouse.edu. Step 3, you will use the link that shows you the payment options that you can be used here at the college for that. And step 4, you will use the link for option 5 to find a form that directs you to the payment plan option itself, the application itself. You should see a form that looks similar to this. Please make sure you complete that form, and to understand that when you get to this page, you're only able to place $6,000 per semester per student as a maximum into the payment plan. Remembering that you must have made the initial payment of $16,000 prior to being able to engage the payment plan option for the semester. Payment expectations. If all full payment is not procured by August 1, classes, housing, and meal plan options will be canceled for the fall semester. Let me reiterate that again. The payment expectation for the fall semester. If all full payment is not procured by the college by August 1, 2017, all your entered classes, housing assignments, meal plan options will be canceled for the fall semester. If you should have any questions about your student account after you've gone through the financial aid process, you may make sure you contact the Office of Student Financial Services. Any of the members of our Student Financial Service team will be happy to assist you in that process and helping you transition through this process for the fall semester. Well, we're at the point of move-in readiness. Are we ready to move in? We hope by now that you've got a lot of information. We know there's a lot of information out there, but these important points that you need to check every time you want to know if you're ready to move into your residence hall. First, you've made your single payment, non-refundable payment of $588. The single payment of $588, so that you can procure your seat in the class and start the enrollment process. You have submitted your final high school transcripts to the Office of Admission. If you are a student athlete, you've also submitted a transcript, a final high school transcript, to the Department of Athletics in addition to the Office of Admissions and Recruitment. So again, remember, student athletes, you will submit 2 final transcripts, one to the Office of Recruitment and Admissions and the other to the Department of Athletics. You have completed the registration process, meaning that you have completed all of your mandatory placement examinations, that being your foreign language placement exam and your mathematics placement examination. You've completed your course scheduling advisement form and for our athletes, we've also submitted your course audit form, your course registration audit forms. Those are to be turned into Mr. Kevin Chapman. If you would just mute for one more second for me and stay muted. Okay, you guys stay muted and I'll finish up here. You'll need to go on to housing, remembering the housing portal opens May 1, but the housing portal closes July 1. So once that portal closes, you will not be able to engage that portal for your housing registration. So it's very, very important to remember May 1, but most importantly, July 1 when the portal closes for the semester. You make sure that you submitted all of your student health service records. You submitted all those forms by June 1st. Up to include to make sure that you have done your waiver form if you're opting out of the insurance form, the insurance policy. The financial aid process. You've completed your FAFSA application. You make sure you've completed all of the verification process if you were selected for verification. You have gone into your TigerNet portal and accepted all of the offered aid to you in your financial aid award package. And you've done so by signing all the promissory notes and completing all the interest loan counseling for parents and students. So parents, you'll do an interest loan counseling and sign the promissory note for the Parent Plus loan. Students, you will do the very same thing for your Stafford subsidized and unsubsidized loans. And you make sure that you've made sure all your fees to the college have been paid in full through the Office of Student Financial Services by August 1, so that there are no loss of housing assignments, courses, meals, and any registrations. Again, some important dates for you to remember. New student enrollment sessions. To attend the new student enrollment sessions, you must have made sure that you paid your single payment of $588, non-refundable acceptance fee, to secure your seat. Those sessions will be held again on May 31st through June 1st. They are non-residential, 2017. And again on June 26th through June 27th. You may engage the registration process for the enrollment sessions. That link will be provided to you by April 1. We will be observing some different kind of hours in the summer. So please take note of the college's operating hours in the summer. Effective Monday, June 9, 2017, the college's operating hours will begin at 8 o'clock through 5:45, Monday through Thursday. All college offices will remain closed on Friday through July 28th. So starting June 9 through July 28th, the college will be closed on Fridays. During the week of July 3rd through July 7th, the college will resume standard operating hours and will be closed on the 4th of July holiday. So please take note of those operating hours when you're doing business with us during the summer. And finally, please be reminded that your payment, your single payment of $588 is required for you to start your enrollment process for the fall semester. You must also complete your mandatory foreign language placement exam along with the mandatory mathematics placement exam. You must complete your housing registration forms for your housing assignments. Make sure you've completed all of your financial aid so that the Office of Financial Aid can issue you your package for the fall semester. All these things are not done, you will not be allowed to attend for the fall semester. Your confirmation of payment must be made by the Office of Student Financial Service. After the acceptance fee has been satisfied, you will then be advised of what of the procedures outlined in this communication. And failure to complete this process prior to your arrival will result in the following. You will not have access to your residence halls. You will lose all course registrations. All of the financial aid will be canceled. Just keep that in mind. If you don't complete all of these steps, your financial aid will also be canceled. There will be no aid available for you for the fall semester. And you will not be allowed to participate in the new student orientation process. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today. If you give us just a few minutes, you remember I promised you that you have your panel of experts to kind of answer any of the questions that you've been kind of adding to the chat during this presentation. Once we come back, we'll have those panelists here and we'll start to answer any of those questions. While they are answering your questions, please feel free to continue to submit your questions as you think of them or hear responses to the questions that have been asked, and we'll be happy to answer any of those. Thank you again. We look forward to receiving you. We're very excited. We know that this is going to be an outstanding class. You guys look great. We're expecting great things of you. You come to us at a very special time at Morehouse in our 150th year. You are a wonderful group of students, and we're looking forward to introducing you to Morehouse and 4 years later seeing you walk across the stage in 2021. Thank you again. Our first question. Thank you for being so very, very active in our question session out there. Our first question is, when is the 588 due? When is the 588 due? I think we'll give that to the Director of Admissions, Mr. Darrell Isom.
Okay, the 588 is due on May 1st. The 588 initiates the process for you to go into the next elements that must take place in order for you to secure your enrollment at Morehouse. And so it's important that you actually submit the $580 on May 1st.
There's also another question here that states if the NSE sessions are mandatory. The answer to that is no, they're not mandatory, but they're strongly recommended, because if you don't, it will delay your process in being enrolled for the fall semester. So we strongly encourage you to attend these new student enrollment sessions so that you don't experience any delay for your arrival for fall semester. Some of you may have already paid your 588 because you were admitted early. Those links will be made available to you again April 1, so that those students can enter a couple of processes, if you remember. You'll get your link so you can engage our placement examinations so that you can start your process. If you've already paid your 588, please make sure to be on the lookout for the April 1st initial link to complete the link or the form, your registration form for a registration of an enrollment session that you plan to attend this summer. A question here, are placement examinations applicable to transfer students?
Yes, they are. All placement examinations are applicable for all transfer students.
I have a question about whether or not this PowerPoint will be made available for viewing after or for download. This session is being recorded. Yes, the PowerPoint will be made available along with this entire session again to hang on the college's website. You will be able to see this or view this again and see the PowerPoint presentation once we kind of do some editing to this and get this package for you. You'll get an email link that will allow you to go out and see this presentation again. There's a question about the PSEP invitation. Again, the PSEP invitation will be issued again in your package of admission. If you're being invited to the PSEP program, that invitation will be in your admission package. Here's a question about, are there any other pre-college enrichment programs if you were not accepted into or invited to PSEP? Are there any other programs that students might come for enrichment in the summer if they're not invited to PSEP?
We do have a very extensive summer academy where there are other college preparatory workshops, courses, camps that take place in the summer. I encourage you to go onto the Morehouse website, morehouse.edu. In the search box, just type in Summer Academy, and the updated Summer Academy schedule will be there, and you can look at the offerings for the summer, and if a course or offering fits you, then you'll be able to obtain that information there.
Mr. Isom, I think we have another question for you. What happens if a student is asked to attend PSEP and his high school doesn't end until June 23rd, which is after the start of the PSEP program?
Okay, so the pre-freshman summer enrichment program is highly or strongly recommended. So if you are not able to attend, just please reach out to me or another individual in admissions and recruitment. My email address would be Daryl, DARRYL, .isom, ISOM, at morehouse.edu. Just inform you that you will not be able to attend because your graduation date will be after the start of the program, and we'll be able to make exceptions for you. You will still be on a probationary status when the semester begins, but we'll be able to make those adjustments for you if you're not able to attend.
Ms. Spivey, I think I have a question for you. When filling out the FAFSA, how is it best addressed with divorced parents? One parent lives in Atlanta, and the other one lives in a different state.
It's who the student lives with, or who provides at least 51% of the support of the student that's coming to college. And normally that is the parent that the student lives with. So only one parent has to put the information down if they are legally divorced.
We have a question here about, does the CTIMS program offer equipment for students to use? Two things. There is equipment in the CTIMS department for students to use. However, students that are in the CTIMS program must be admitted to the CTIMS program and must complete the application for admission to the CTIMS program. So please make sure you check our website, particularly for programs in CTIMS, the CTIMS program, for all the application information, the process in which they use for that, and feel free to use any of those contact information for that particular academic department. Mr. Chapman, I think we have one asking, how do we reach the athletic department?
Okay, you can reach the athletic department by going to morehouse.edu and then select the athletics tab, and they'll have the contact information there.
Ms. Bishop Monroe, we have a question here asking, if you have a student at Spelman and at Morehouse, do you only qualify for the payment plan?
The payment plan, you can put a maximum amount of $6,000 per student per semester for the payment plan. So it's whatever the parent, or family are able to decide once they subtract out any aid that's accepted. Then the balance that of $6,000 is the maximum that you can put on the payment plan. So we don't look at if you have another student at another school, that's exclusive here to, here at Morehouse. Thank you.
Ms. Spivey, when completing the PLUS loan application, it asks for the award year only 2016-17 and 2015-16 are listed. What should they do?
If they're asking for both years, and you're a new freshman, you didn't go last year, so you only put down the amount of aid that you have for the 17-18 academic year, because you didn't receive anything in 16,
Right,
17.
I'm not sure if the question is directed to what they see as options about applying for the PLUS loan. Can they now apply for the PLUS loan for the fall semester?
I think it is out there for them to apply, yes. It came out early this year, as did the FAFSA.
Thank you. Here's a question about foreign language. My son has not taken a regular foreign language in high school. He took sign language, which satisfies his 2 years of foreign language. Will he be required to take the initial foreign language exam?
Yes, he will still need to take the Modern Foreign Language Placement Examination. American Sign Language would not disqualify him from not having to take foreign language while he's here at Morehouse.
Ms. Bishop Monroe, is the unlimited meal plan required for all freshmen?
Yes, that is a very good question. All freshmen are required to obtain the unlimited meal plan. We want to ensure that all freshmen are able to obtain meals as they see fit.
I have another question for you, Ms. Bishop Monroe. When making payment for the acceptance fee online, do we just enter the amount? I don't see the fee listed.
Yes, you would just enter the $588 fee amount, and your payment will be processed that way.
Ms. Bishop Monroe, are there any additional fees associated with paying with credit card?
No, those are no additional fees unless your credit card provider charges you additional fees, but we do not charge any additional fees by processing a payment via credit card.
Dr. Turner, do all students have to live on campus after freshman year? Do students have to live on campus after freshman year?
Yes, there is a 3-year residential live-on requirement, which means that all new and transfer students will be required to reside in on-campus housing for the first 3 years and/or 6 semesters of their matriculation. They would be eligible to reside off-campus for their senior year.
Thank you. Ms. Bishop Monroe, there's a question. Can you further explain the $6,000 per semester? I'm assuming that's directed to the payment plan?
Yes. Well, once it's determined how much the balance is owed for that particular student, say for instance, your balance owed is $5,000, then $5,000 could be put on the payment plan if you don't desire to pay in full. And once you sign up on the payment plan, you would enter the amount that you want to put on the payment plan. Again, the maximum you could put on the payment plan is $6,000. So you would go online to the payment plan link, which will be available May 1st for early sign up. You would enter the $5,000, and then we actually receive an email when someone signs up. So we will be able to verify that, one, you made that first payment, and we will make adjustments onto the account based upon whatever amount you sign up on the payment plan. Now, one important item to note, all payments must be made in accordance with the payment plan. So that way you won't experience a loss in classes or registration of classes or financial aid or any other items that or housing, because we are in good faith, assuming that when you sign up on the payment plan, you will pay in accordance with the amount owed.
Mr. Isom, I think we have a question here asking if you'd be considered for scholarship after receipt of your final transcript.
If you were not awarded a scholarship at the time of admissions, which we do review every student for scholarship when you are reviewed for admission to the college. If you were not reviewed, or you did not receive the scholarship at that time, you can always petition to be reviewed for scholarship if your academic credentials have changed, meaning if your GPA has improved or if you retook the SAT or ACT and you have a higher score. If nothing has changed, we are not able to review you again for scholarship, but if your credentials change, please petition to be reviewed, and we'll be glad to do that.
Dr. Trewick, is the T-spot or quantiferin TB gold blood test acceptable in place of the TSET,
In place of the,
of the tuberculosis examination? Screening.
the screening, if we could, we would need a, X-ray in place of the test.
So in place of any tuberculosis screening, you need an X-ray? Okay. Mr. Isom, what should I do if I haven't received my logistics packet from Morehouse in the mail?
Well, it depends on when you were actually admitted to Morehouse. We ask that you provide at least a 2 to 3 week period between the time you were admitted to Morehouse and you received your admissions email and the time you receive your package. If you are beyond that time frame, you can always reach out to the Office of Admissions and we can verify your address just to make sure that we have a correct address for you. And if we do not have that correct address, of course we will correct that. And at that time, we can email you the admissions packet so that you can have it at your disposal immediately. Otherwise, we'll just verify we have all the information so that correct, so that we can that you are receiving the admissions packet to the correct address.
Ms. Gunter, is the foreign language placement exam mandatory for everyone?
Yes, it is mandatory for everyone. There is a little bit of a clause for those native speakers and other languages, but that information will be sent out via email.
Dr. Turner, when will the housing portal open and close?
So the Tiger Den housing portal will become available on May 1st and will close on July 1st.
Dr. Traylor, why do I need to have 4 credit hours to get insurance?
You have to be a student at Morehouse College and you have to be in at least 2 classes, 4 credit hours. One class is 3 credit hours. So you have to have at least 2 classes to be able to get insurance at Morehouse College.
Mr. Isom, what is the actual date of orientation? New student orientation, I'm assuming, is the question.
New student orientation will begin on Tuesday, August the 8th. That will, of course, Mr. Dixon has already outlined what we're doing in addition this year for students to do some of the prep work before new student orientation. But new student orientation will begin on Tuesday, August 8th. Parents and students. Parents will be with the student on that Tuesday and Wednesday, and the students' orientation will proceed for the entire week.
Dr. Traylor, health services are free as long as you are enrolled for 4 credit hours?
Yes, it's part of your tuition.
And do you have to have a health form in the step-by-step book? I already have my forms filled out and downloaded from the site. So I guess the question is, if you fill them out on the site, do you need to have the ones in the book?
No, they're the same forms. So you can use the ones on the website or you can use the one in the step-by-step book.
how soon will freshmen be able to start work study? What are the qualifications, Ms. Spivey?
Well, if you receive your financial aid award and you have a work award, college work study or institutional work award, we will notify you once the semester begins. Everybody will receive an email telling you where and when to come to sign your contract. We have an orientation for all new students, and that'll be right after the semester begins.
We have a question here about what internship opportunities are available for students who want to focus on media. I'm not sure if we have anyone on the panel here from our CTMs or media area. The only thing I can say that you can do, there are a list of things that are listed on the website, in the CTMs program website, on our campus website. You may take a look at some of those, and then again refer to any of the contact information for that department. We'd be happy to call or email that department for some answers to that question. Mrs. Spivey, what if you're unable to use the IRS retrieval? Should we contact financial aid office before we hear, or what should we do if you can't use the IRS retrieval tool?
If you're unable to use the IRS retrieval tool, you need to submit your IRS transcript, tax 2015 tax transcript. And that would be uploaded into our link. You do not submit any forms to the financial aid office. All those forms that are requested for verification are to be uploaded to our link. And we provide that information when we send you the missing information letter.
Ms. Spivey, we also have a question from a student who says he's currently going through the verification process, and it says that I had to sign the selective service agreement, but I just turned 17 not too long ago. So how would that work?
We waive that requirement if you have not turned 18 yet, because they will not let you sign it. So that requirement will be waived as long as you put your birth date in on your FAFSA, and we know that you have not reached the age of 18 yet.
Ms. Spivey, does Morehouse have a separate verification process from FAFSA?
Well, the FAFSA is not. The FAFSA is a document that you complete to determine whether you're eligible for financial aid. The Department of Education chooses 30% of our students to verify their information. So in a sense, it is an extension of you completing the FAFSA, because we're asking you to supply your parents' tax information and yours if you worked to determine that what you put on your FAFSA is accurate.
Ms. Bishop Monroe, is there a Morehouse discount for two siblings enrolled in Morehouse?
Thank you. Very good question. There is not a sibling discount. However, due to the high quality of education, the tuition and fees that are charged will definitely be of high value for both siblings.
And a follow-up question, Ms. Bishop Monroe. Can individuals give money to the school directly on behalf of the student?
I'm not clear on that question, but of course, you know, if, say for instance, there's a family member that would like to pay for that particular student, they're more than welcome to assist with paying tuition and fees directly to the cashier's office or online through TigerNet.
Here's a question for Student Health Services, Dr. Traywood. How often does one need to fill out the insurance waiver form? Once per year, per semester?
It's per year. If you miss the waiver process in August, you will have an opportunity to waive second semester, but it is, once you waive in August, by August, that's the only time you need to waive per year. It's an annual process.
Thank you. Mr. Isom, there's a question from a parent that says their son has requested an audition with the band, but hasn't heard anything. What shall he do?
The student has auditioned, or
He's requested an audition for a band,
and
but
so
he hasn't heard anything.
okay. So if your son has not heard back from Mr. Chad Hughes, he is the individual that will be auditioning students for the band. You can reach out to him. I assume you probably already reached out to him via email. Once again, you can always give me a call. I'll be glad to be the facilitator to put you in contact with Mr. Hughes. My email address again, daryl.isom@morehouse.edu, and we'll be able to facilitate that for you.
Ms. Spivey, I have a couple of questions for you, I think. On my Verify My FAFSA, it says that I've submitted my Selective Service Agreement. But on TigerNet, it says that the document is needed under eligibility requirements for 2017-2018 award year.
If you have submitted it, we go out and look at Verify My FAFSA. So don't worry about what it says on the tracking screen unless you didn't complete something completely. But we'll check that and we'll notify you if we need some additional information.
The follow-up question is, can the payment be paid? Can the payment be paid with FAFSA? I'm not quite sure which payment.
If you mean, can your 588 be paid with your financial aid award? No, you cannot. That is not covered by financial aid. The only fees that can be covered by financial aid are fees that every student has. And every student does, not only freshmen have the 588, so that cannot be covered with financial aid dollars.
Mr. Isom, how would I go about accessing the email section of TigerNet?
Okay, in order to I guess, initiate your Morehouse email address, that information will be available once you engage the system TigerNet for the first time. And it will be able to walk you through the process. You should view or review the instructions in the step-by-step guide. If you are not able to access your email address after you have engaged the system, hopefully to submit your acceptance fee, then on the inside back cover of the step-by-step guide is the contact information for our technology group. You can email them to inform them that they will need to activate your Morehouse account, and they will take care of that for you.
Ms. Bishop Monroe, do we have to have the $16,000 paid in order to attend Morehouse?
Well, that $16,000 is an initial payment. And so that payment can be made in the form of financial aid, cash, a certified check, or credit card. So yes, that initial payment would be required to be made in the form of those various methods. And then the final payment deadline for the semester is August 1st. And it is December 1st for the spring. But you would need to, ensure that that initial payment is made, because housing, is confirmed, and classes, just to make sure you have a very smooth process. And again, it can be made in those various forms. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Ms. Spivey, what is the name of the program that would wipe 1/3 of tuition down? Ms. Spivey or Bishop Monroe, I don't know.
There is no financial aid program that would wipe 1/3 of your tuition off unless you are talking about maybe you're eligible for a Pell Grant. If you're eligible for, and you receive an award for any financial aid, that money would reduce your cost, your bill. And the only thing on your award that does not reduce your bill is your work-study award, because you have to work to earn those dollars. So I'm not quite sure I'm answering that correctly, because I'm not sure if do you know the name of the program, or do you know, can you explain exactly what you're?
We've asked for clarity on that.
Okay.
That's something we'll get back to you on
Okay,
that.
thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Isom, there's a question about how to schedule a campus visit.
Okay, the most simplistic way to schedule a campus visit will be to visit our website, morehouse.edu. Go to the admissions page on that site, and On the toolbar, on the menu bar, you'll see schedule a visit. And all of our visits are scheduled online. So you can schedule a visit there, and all of the blackout dates are there, all of the dates that are available to schedule a campus tour are there, and we'll be glad to help you.
There's an additional question here, Mr. Eisen, about how to apply for the honors program.
Okay, the honors program is by invitation only. The honor program, they have minimum GPA and test scores. We query our entire admitted student database for the students that meet those minimum GPA and test score requirements, and we funnel that information or send that information to the honors program. The honors program will then invite you, they'll reach out to you and invite you to participate in the honors program.
There's a question for the panel. Are there any programs that we can intern for being enrolling freshmen? Not quite sure. If there are any programs that are offered for internship or interning program for being freshmen, enrolling freshmen. However, I think once you come to the campus and you're enrolled, you're welcome to engage our career planning placement office for any programs for internship that may be offered at the completion of the freshman year.
There's also the boot camp, the summer boot camp internship.
Here's a question, Ms. Bishop Monroe. Can I send in an award letter for a one-time outside scholarship in order to pay the new student acceptance fee of $588?
If the money is to be for a scholarship, then it cannot cover the 588 unless the donor specifically says in writing that's what they want it to cover.
Thank you. Here's a question that asks, are one of the enrollment sessions mandatory, or can you register online or via phone? Registration for the new student enrollment sessions will be online only. There will be an online link to the registration form for those sessions, so you may only do that online. Ms. Bishop Monroe, there's a question, what is the total cost per semester?
The total cost currently is listed in the current schedule of fees online. And again, you know, the price can vary somewhat because, for example, if someone enrolls in a course and there are certain lab fees attached to that course, you know, it might be a little bit different. But if you review the schedule of fees online, now I want to communicate this caveat. The schedule of fees is in the process of being updated, so those amounts are subject to change. But just so you can get a general idea of the tuition and fees, the schedule of fees online can be viewed by going to the Morehouse.edu website, and under quick links, you can find student financial services. If you click on that tab, we have a header called tuition and fees. And so that'll give you an idea of the approximate amounts, because the schedule of fee booklet is in the process of being updated, so the prices and amounts will change.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Gunter, here's this family that says the acceptance fee has been paid, but they haven't gotten a placement exam email for foreign language. When should they expect to receive those?
We won't start sending out that information to those students until mid-May.
Thank you. Ms. Spivey, there's a question that says, the FAFSA is completed. When will her son receive fraudulent packaging?
Well, it depends. You need to look at your student aid report that you received from the Department of Education to see if you were chosen for verification. If you were not chosen for verification, you should expect to receive it within 10 days. If you were chosen for verification, then you have to provide all the documentation and upload that to myfafsa.com so that we can review that before we can make an award.
Mr. Chapman, how do I go about signing up for sports teams?
Well, the first thing you do is you want to register with the NCAA Eligibility Center. There's a fee for that, and they will need test scores as well as your final transcripts. But to play sports here, you want to contact the head coach of the desired sport. And you can get that contact information from the website.
Thank you. Mr. Isom, here's a question about the pre-freshman invitation. Is that the flyer that was included in the packet?
No, we do not include a flyer for the pre-freshman summer enrichment program. If you were recommended for the program, then there would have been a supplement that was added providing logistical information on the program, not a flyer. The only flyer that would have been with your acceptance packet would have been for admitted student weekend. I believe that may be what you're referring to. If you were not if you were not referred to the program or recommended to attend the summer enrichment program, then you would not have received any information on the summer enrichment program in your packet. But if you go to the website and to the admissions page, you can click on the link for the pre-freshman summer enrichment program, and it will provide you with logistical information on that program.
Thank you. Ms. Bishop Monroe, the question, is the tuition the same if you're coming from a Florida high school?
Very good question. So our tuition and fees are the same for students whether you are out of state or in the state.
Here's a question. Is the earliest date to enroll for classes and testing May 1, even if the enrollment fee has been paid well in advance? Is the earliest date to enroll for classes and testing May 1, 2017, even if the enrollment fee has been paid in advance?
The enrollment process would not start May 1. The first wave of students that would be able to enroll in classes would be on May 31st and June 1st. Those students would be able to enroll for classes first. You'll receive your email for the placement examinations prior to, but not May 1st. It would be mid-May.
Mr. Isom, when is the deadline to pay the 588 non-refundable acceptance fee?
The deadline would be May 1st. That is the day, that is National Commitment Day, and that is the date when your 588 is expected to be here at Morehouse.
Ms. Spivey, what is the requested loan period start and end date for the PLUS loan application?
The start date is August 10th, and the end date, if you're getting the loan for the whole year, would be May 10th.
Thank you. Here's a question. My son is interested in dual degree with Georgia Tech for engineering. I guess the question is, how does he do that?
Well, he will make that information known when he comes for the summer orientation and the schedule is created for the first semester. There will be a representative from the Division of Science and Math who can share information with the students about the dual degree engineering program, which major they would need to select. There are 3 majors here at Morehouse they would need to select from in the Science and Math division. that will marry with the engineering piece that they do as the 2 years on the back end to complete the program. So we'll have people available during the summer orientation sessions to provide specifics about options of majors here at Morehouse, as well as options of the engineering schools and the engineering disciplines available as a part of the dual degree engineering program.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Mr. Isom, I still have not received my acceptance letter in the mail. Is this a problem, or are they still being sent out?
Well, yes, they are still being sent out. As I indicated earlier, it depends on when you were actually admitted to the college. We anticipate that there will be a 2 to 3 week time frame between the time you actually receive your admissions email and the time the packet actually reaches your door. So if you fall into the time frame where you were admitted more than 3 weeks ago, and that's when you received your admissions email, please reach out to me, daryl.isom@morehouse.edu. I'll research the situation, make sure we have your correct mailing address, and I'll be able to get a package to you either via snail mail or email.
Thank you. We have a question here. Who is chaperone students during the new student enrollment session, since it's non-residential and are parents allowed to attend the sessions? Absolutely, parents are expected and our guardians are expected to chaperone or bring their students to the campus for these sessions. These are designed to be one-day sessions. You drive in that day and you leave same day with all of the enrollment process finished. So and that's why it is non-residential. So we expect to see parents and or guardians assisting their students through that process. Thank you for that question. Ms. Bishop Monroe, I have a question here. Are the textbooks traditional books or e-books?
As far as if it's traditional or ebooks, you know, I think academics might be able to add a little bit more to that, but it depends on the book that the professor selects.
Depends on the instructor.
And typically, instructors, and there are different fee structures for traditional books versus electronic books. In both cases, I think students will have options to purchase or rent books, but the textbooks themselves are typically recommended. Courses recommended on the course syllabi by the faculty the student will be taking the course from. Thank you for your question. Ms. Spivey, how long does the verification process generally take?
Once you have submitted all your documentation, it takes us maybe 2 weeks to complete the process, because we normally have a high volume that we have to go through. So I would recommend that you make sure you have submitted everything that we have requested, so we don't have to come back and ask for additional information, so we can get you verified as soon as possible.
Thank you, Ms. Spivey. Ms. Gunter, what email addresses will you send placement exam information to, personal or the email address, Morehouse email address?
The information will be sent to whatever email address you placed on the application submitted to Morehouse College. And hopefully it was not a school address. A lot of times those emails will bounce back.
Thank you. Ms. Spivey. And if a student has a deceased parent and cannot complete the FAFSA, how does the student complete the FAFSA process?
They use the information from the other parent. If both parents are deceased, the student would be considered as an independent student. But I would recommend you contact the financial aid office if you have additional questions, so we can make sure you're filing correctly.
We're almost done with any questions and start to wrap up this session. If you have any additional questions, we ask that you start to list those now as we start to end this. We really enjoyed spending some time with you today and answering your questions. Your questions have been really great. We hope that this presentation has been beneficial for you, and we anticipate seeing you all come to one of our sessions. Ms. Spivey, here's your question. How do we receive packaging? There is no information in TigerNet pertaining to packaging.
If you don't have a package out showing in TigerNet, that means that you, as a freshman, you must have some information missing or something that you have not completed. I would again suggest that you contact my office so that we can look up your name and your information to see where you are in the process. Because every student that has submitted information, if they were not chosen for verification, they have gotten an award letter. If they were chosen for verification, we've asked for additional information. So there should be nobody out there sitting in limbo, not knowing where they are at this point.
Thank you, Ms. Spivey. Mr. Chapman, for a student who has gone through the NC2A clearinghouse but is considering attempting to walk on to a team, what is the process for completing the course registration audit form or any other forms that may be needed?
Okay, so he'll go through the registration process as all other students, and he still will come and see me in Douglas Hall. As for the preferred walk-on or the regular walk-on, during new student orientation, there will be a time when where interested student athletes can go and get that information from the compliance officer.
Ms. Gunter, I'm going to give you this question. Does Morehouse College provide student support services for students with disabilities?
Yes, they do. In the cell hall annex, you would meet with the coordinator there. You would have to self-determine, and they will go through the entire process with you.
Thank you. Mr. Isom, can the 588 fee be submitted earlier than May 1?
Yes, we encourage you to submit the 588 as soon as possible. As I indicated, May 1st is the date or the deadline for submission of the 588, but if you would like to submit that today, we'll be glad to take it.
Mr. Isom, we have another question that says they have not received their acceptance packet, but they have received acceptance via email only.
Okay. Well, I would need to have a little more information as to when the student was accepted, but as I indicated, that it takes approximately 2 to 3 weeks for the actual logistical package to be mailed to the student after receipt of the admission email. If it's been beyond that point, please reach out to me, and I'll be glad to research that for you. If you would like for me to email the package to you, I'll be glad to do that, or I could verify your address and mail it to you.
I have a follow-up question for you, Mr. Isom. Who should dual enrollment courses be submitted to, and in what form?
Okay, so for dual enrollment, we will need the official transcript from the college in which you took those courses, and you can send those to the college as soon as you have completed the semester at the college. Just send them to Morehouse, and when you come here for the either summer orientation sessions or for NSO, which will be in August, you'll be able to meet with your academic advisor, and your academic advisor will be able to give you equivalencies for courses here at Morehouse. Most of the dual enrolled courses are core courses, meaning college algebra, English composition, courses such as those. Those are courses that will easily transfer to Morehouse, but in any case, we will need an official transcript to be sent to the college in order to have those courses reviewed and for you to be given credit for those courses.
Mr. Isom, will you denote the difference between admitted student day weekend, which is in April, and the new student enrollment sessions?
Okay. Well, the admitted student weekend is when all of the students who have not committed to Morehouse by submitting to Morehouse their acceptance fee, they are invited to come to Morehouse. So you do not need to be a confirmed student in order to attend admitted student weekend. That's just where you come, meet the cohort of students in which you will be in your class, actually be able to engage our community. It's a day in the life of a man of Morehouse. The summer courses, the enrollment courses this summer are students that have confirmed or committed to the college. That's when you would come and take care of the business that is necessary for you to enroll and matriculate in the fall. So that is very detailed tasks that will be taken care of for a confirmed student for the orientation process this summer and for in the summer.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Turner, do transfer students have to stay on campus?
Yes, transfer students are also required to reside in on-campus housing. Now, if there are specific arrangements that you're requesting, I ask that you contact our office, the Office of Housing and Residential Education, via email at tigerden@morehouse.edu. That way we can explore your particular situation to determine if there are any eligibilities for exception. Thank you.
Thank you. Do the students have to complete one of the new student enrollment sessions in person? The answer to that question is they are not mandatory. We are strongly recommending that you do come to the campus in person to do that. Either way it goes, you have to be here in person to complete the enrollment process by engaging our advisement process and your course registration for your initial course registrations. This is a one-time piece for you to do that to get you started this academic year. So it would be strongly recommended that you do attend one of the enrollment sessions. We have a following question, but what if you're still in school at the time the NSE registration is going on? We will be taking a look at those, and if you have any questions about that, we will be able to take a look at when you are completing school and then running a session possibly later. Those added sessions will be ones that will be outside of the initial ones. So please, they will definitely have very limited space. So we will send emails to those students that have not gone through a process to engage them one last time to come to the campus to get that done. But you will have to come to the campus to finally get through your initial enrollment process. Ms. Spivey, what is the voluntary packet sent, and do you have to submit the 588 to confirm your enrollment to see it?
No, the financial aid package is emailed to you once you've completed all your documentation. There is no requirement for you to have paid your 588 before.
I think I have a follow-up, Ms. Spivey, to an earlier question. What if the student can get a FAFSA completed, but if I can't get a signature form from a guardian because she's deceased, are you still recommending that student contact the Office of Financial Aid directly?
Yes, because if you don't have, if you look at the FAFSA, and the instructions on the FAFSA are very specific as to who is considered a parent and who is considered a guardian. And if you have questions after you read that, you need to call us and let us work you through that process.
I have a question that says admission to the summer academy is by invitation only. I thought this, let me be clear about the summer academy. The invitation only is for the PSCP program, which will receive invitation only by and through the Office of Admission. Summer academy is totally different. There are several programs within the summer academy that you find on our website, and you're welcome to apply to any of those academy programs. Those are not by invitation only. The only program that we're talking about is PSCP, which is by invitation only from the Office of Admission. Thank you for that question. Hope that clarity helped. Here's a question, Mr. Chapman. My son is playing football in high school and would like to get in touch with the coach to discuss walking on the team. Is that possible?
Sure. Prior to reaching out to the coach, that student should also prepare to share his huddle, the video, highlight video via huddle. And you can get the head coach, Rich Freeman's contact information from the website. In addition to that, you want to make sure that your student registers with the NCAA Eligibility Center, as well as complete all the other steps that were highlighted on the student athlete slide. In addition to that, during new student orientation, that student should attend the walk-on meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chapman. Mr. Isom, is the ROTC application still available?
Yes, the ROT application is still available. Students interested in the ROTC program will need to reach out to Commander Espy in order to gain additional information on that program. Once again, you can reach out to me, and I will definitely refer you to Commander Espy, and he can provide you with further details on what you would need to do in order to be considered for the ROTC program.
Ms. Spivey, on the PLUS loan application, the only years that are listed at this point are 2016, 2017, and 2015, 2016. There's no option for 2017, 2018 yet. What should you have?
And then you'll have to wait till the Department of Education puts that information out. And if it's not out, check again today. If it's not out, it would be out within the next 2 weeks, I'm sure.
Thank you. Ms. Gunter, is sign language offered at Morehouse College?
Not at this time. Sign language is not offered at Morehouse College.
I have another question here. What resources are available for students that may have learning disabilities?
That could be detailed through the Office of Disabilities. The disability coordinator would meet with that student, give an assessment, and forward any information or resources available through the school or any of the agencies nearby.
Dr. Turner, can a student receive an exemption to the 3-year on-campus requirement if they live within 15 miles of the campus?
There are specific exemption allowances for students who are within a radius of the campus. There is a specific form that must be completed in order for consideration to be provided. If the student is able to email tigerden@morehouse.edu, a member of the Housing and Residential Education staff can provide instruction on how to submit such an application.
Thank you. And Dr. Turner, are freshmen allowed to bring vehicles to campus?
There has been a provision for freshman first-year students to have personal vehicles on the campus. Of course, the vehicles would need to be registered with parking services, but there is a provision at this time for freshman first-year students to have vehicles on campus.
We have a follow-up question, Dr. Turner. What is the fee for housing?
Well, the initial fee, the acceptance fee of $588 is the fee that will start the process for students, new students, accessing the Tiger Den housing portal. From there, as Ms. Bishop Monroe stated earlier, please refer to the schedule of fees with the understanding that said fees are subject to change for the 2017-2018 academic year via the Morehouse College website, www.morehouse.edu.
Thank you. Mr. Chapman,
Yes.
when is the start of football practice?
That is if you send me an email, I have to give you that specific date. My email is kevin.chapmanjr@morehouse.edu.
We have a question about the TigerNet site crashing, and you having challenges with the TigerNet site. I'm going to suggest that you go back to that screenshot where you see the service desk and send an email to the service desk about your challenge and allow them to investigate your challenge entering the TigerNet portal. Thank you for your question. Ms. Spivey, how do I know how much FAFSA award I will receive?
You will receive an award letter, a financial aid award letter identifying the exact amount you will receive for the complete year.
I have a follow-up question for you, Ms. Spivey. I completed the FAFSA back in October and I did not have any additional verification questions to respond to. And I was accepted in December. When should I receive a financial aid package letter?
If you've been accepted, you should have received a letter, so you need to contact my office to see why you haven't received your package at this time.
Thank you. Dr. Turner, is there a curfew during NSO?
Generally, yes, there is a curfew during the week of new student orientation. And that curfew time is set for the end of the final official scheduled activity for that particular day. At that time, all students would need to return to their residential houses for the evening.
And I have a follow-up question about what is the process for signing up to be an RA, the RA process?
Thank you. The resident advisor application is available to students in November of each year for the following academic year. A student must have had, by the time a student assumes a role of resident advisor, he must have had at least 1 year of on-campus residency to be considered.